Okay, lesson 2.3, we're going to get into the percent proportion. Our objective is to set up and properly solve a percent proportion. This image is just a good one for you to visualize. You're always going to have the part, the whole on bottom, the percent on top, and then 100 on bottom. A way to remember that it's 100 on the bottom of the percent is that's how we make the percent a fraction. So if we have 80%, we do 80 over 100. So what we're doing is we're setting up a proportion to say that these are equal, and then we can solve for our missing part based off solving for proportions, which we learned in chapter 1. I believe it was actually 1.6. In a percent proportion, one ratio or fraction compares a part of a quantity to the whole quantity. The other ratio is the equivalent percent written as a fraction with a denominator of 100. Okay, this table is going to help us to know how to use the percent proportion. So if we are looking to find the percent, we're given what percent of 5 is 4. So we're given the whole is 5 and the part is 4. So we do the part over the whole equals, we don't know the percent, but we know that it'll be over 100. So then we can solve for n by cross multiplying like we learned in 1.6. If you don't remember how to do that, you might want to go watch 1.6 and then come back, because if you don't remember how to solve for n on this, because otherwise you'll be really confused. So find the part. What number is 80% of 5? So it's saying what's 80% of 5? They're telling us that 5 is the whole and we're finding 80% of it, which is a part of it. So we need to find the part, but we're given the whole. We're given the percent, so we write it as a fraction. Okay, find the whole. 4 is 80% of what number? So it's saying it's 80% of a whole number. So 4 is the part. We don't know what the whole number is, but we know that 4 is 80% of whatever that whole number is. So those are the different ways that you might set the proportion up based on the information you're given. What percent of $15 is $9? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the equation or the proportion like formula. So it's the part over the whole equals the percent over 100. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill out what I know. So what percent of 15 is 9? So my whole is 15 and my part is 9. And then I simply solve it as I know how. So 15 times n is 15n. 9 times 100 is 900. Now I learned in chapter whatever that was, I don't even remember, to get a variable by itself. This is multiplication, so I need to use division. So I divide both sides by 15. So n equals 900 divided by 15, which is 60. So I circle it, and I'm actually going to write it as a percent because it was 60%. And that's my answer. What number is 40% of 120? So the first thing I'm going to do is set up my percent because that's easy. I know that I have 40 over 100. So that takes zero thought. I just have to write it out. What number is 40% of 120? So is 120 my whole number or my part? So I have to think about that. What number is 40% of 120? So 40% of 120, that's going to be a part of 120. So I'm going to put part on top. My whole number is 120, so I'm going to put that on bottom. And then I'm going to cross multiply. So I take 100 times p is 100p. Then I take 120 times 40, and that's going to be 4,800. And then to get p by itself, I'm going to divide by 100. So p equals 48. Okay, 18 is 25% of what number? So I think about, first I'm going to set up my proportion, or my percent again. So I do 25 over 100. Then I think about, is 18 a part or a whole? And it's a part, so I do 18 is 25% of what number? So then I cross multiply. W times 25 is 25W. 18 times 100 is 1800. And then I divide by 25 on both sides. And I do that trying to get W by itself. W equals 72. So I circle it, and that's my answer.